to Manifest on Purpose. My name is Kimberly Williams. I am a mindset consultant specializing in manifestation. I help you align your mindset with the things that you desire in your life to help you manifest in your life. So what are you waiting for? Come on, let's go. Let's manifest on purpose. Hello. Happy Friday. How's it going? This is Kimberly Williams. I am the host of Manifest on Purpose. I first want to say thank you so much for being here. It means so much to me. And if you're new here, welcome. If you're here all the time, welcome back. I'm so glad to have all of you here with me today. And I hope that I'm sharing things with you that you can take away and apply to your life. Do you sometimes feel left out while waiting for your manifestation? Why does it seem that some people can obtain everything they want while other people struggle? Why do some people seem extremely lucky while others prove to be just the opposite? You've seen it. Some people seem to be able to create anything they want in their lives. You look at their lives and it may seem perfect to you. But on the other hand, there may seem to be some people that are on the opposite side. They're not on that same team. What makes this happen? Are some people able to manifest while others are not? These are just a few questions I have asked myself throughout my manifestation journey. I'm really curious about this. What became true for me is that we all have the ability to manifest. We know that. The reason why we know that is because we are all doing it right now in this very moment. In fact, we are manifestation. Once I came to that realization, I had another question. Why do some seem to have a hard time manifesting? I had to ask myself that question again. What I have found through my studying, my life experiences, the things that have happened to me personally while manifesting, and through teaching others, is that there are things that can block your growth. All of these things are related to the mindset. I talk about this all the time. Your mindset determines who you are and what you will create. Today, I intend to share some of those things with you and to give you tips on how to break free from some of those blockages. The very first blockage, you may have heard this before, this acronym FOMO. FOMO. The fear of missing out. Take a second, a deep breath. Now imagine having a piece of your favorite candy. You've been craving this candy for a while now, and now you finally have it. Imagine yourself ripping open the candy wrapper. Ooh, you wanted this candy so bad. The moment you open it, it hits the floor, or even worse, you find that the paper is stuck to the wrapper. Has that ever happened to you before? It's definitely happened to me quite a few times, and I had to wonder and think about what makes that happen. Well, the thing that makes it happen is my way of explaining FOMO, or my way of perceiving FOMO. You're so afraid that you will lose that candy that it keeps you from having it. Imagine that. You want something so bad. It's almost like a desperation. It's almost like an obsession. You want it so bad that you're afraid you're going to lose it, or you're afraid that you'll never get it. And it starts to become desperation, and then it becomes an obsession. And that's what happens a lot of times when we drop that candy and we easily say, oh, somebody else wanted that. No, somebody else may not wanted that. It may have been that you wanted it too much. So much so that you were afraid that you were not going to get it. And because you were afraid of that, you have now made that your reality. You were afraid that it was not available to you. And because that's what you believed in most, it became unavailable to you. Yep, this, my friends, is a common manifestation blockage. Setting an intention is a one-time thing. It's like a candle. You light it once, you blow it out, and you let it go. Please, guys, step away from the intention. Please, go find something else to do, like prepare. That's something that we talk about a lot. Instead of focusing on your attention, focus on preparing your life for what is coming. Go ahead and prepare. When you spend too much time in that intention stage, you become obsessed with that intention. That's what I was talking about that piece of candy. This will cause fear to set in eventually. The fear that you won't be able to create what you want, or the fear that you can't have what you want. Make up in your mind what you really, really want. Then you set that intention. All intention is a strong will that you have already created that in your life. It's already there. It's just in the shop getting customization. The way you nourish that intention will determine how it's going to manifest. If you nourish that intention with fear, it will manifest just like that favorite piece of candy that just fell on the floor, the thing that you wanted so much to have. Nourish your intentions with positivity, and positive things will be created. Second on my list of blockages for today would be that you are in competition with someone, or you are comparing yourself. I know exactly what you're saying. There's nothing wrong with a little competition, right? No, wrong. Every time you compete with someone or something, you are comparing yourself to that person or that thing. When you compare yourself, you take the focus off you. You take the focus off what you want, and you place it on someone or something else. When this is happening, you're not growing at all. However, your perception of that person or thing in which you're comparing yourself with does grow. You can overcome this by knowing that there is nobody or nothing that is better or worse than you. And I mean that. That deserves to be repeated. There is nobody or nothing that is better or worse than you. We each have our own journeys, very individualized journeys. Our lives as individuals are what we choose them to be. Our lives are what we make them. To compete or to compare also manifests resistance. You've heard of resistance before. Resistance is not something that sounds fun. Resistance sounds like struggle. And it sounds like struggle because it is struggle. When we compete or compare, it's usually directed at someone or something that are striving for the same things usually that we are striving for. It's either something that you want, something that you're working towards, Or it's either a person that has some of the same characteristics that you're striving for, or are living the same type of life that you are striving for. There's going to be some commonalities there. That's the reason why you compare yourself with that person. That's the reason why you're competing with that person, because you see something there that's similar to you. You see something there that you want. You see something there that challenges you to do better. When we resist this thing that we want through competition and comparison, we push it further away from us. The solution is to get close to those things that we want, the things that make you want to compete or to compare, and get to know these people and things. When you do that, you will attract, not repel. That's what we want to do. We want to attract the positive aspects of that person or that thing towards us, not repel it. The things that you need from that experience, we want to attract those things. Attracting those things will put you in a position to get to where you want to be or to where you need to be. You need to form alliances and teams with these people. Find out what they're doing. And don't just be there to get that experience. Also share your experience, because it may be things that that person maybe can help you with, and you may can help that person with something to help them grow. When you look at situations like this, you have to look at the fact that everybody's not looking at you competing against you. They're not comparing themselves to you. They're just doing their own thing. And by doing their own thing and staying focused, then they're going to grow. And if you stay focused all the time on what they're doing, you won't even be able to grow, because you won't have the focus for yourself or what you're trying to do, because your focus is placed on that person in which you're in competition with, or that person that you are comparing yourself with. So we need to step away from resistance. One of the things you can know from this, learn from this, is that we are all connected. Always. We're always connected. And these people that are placed in your lives are placed there for a reason. Find out what that reason is and find a way to use that to your advantage. That does not mean take advantage, but take help when it's offered. Be in the position to get that help when it's offered. And then be in gratitude. You show your gratitude by giving back in your very own special way. There's one more way that we can block our manifestations. I'm going to go over just one more way today. There's many ways that your manifestations can be blocked. And maybe I'll do a follow-up episode on this sometime in the near future. But I'm going to go into this last way, which is you're resisting change. Guys, if you haven't listened to the episode about the wrecking ball effect, this is one of my earlier episodes, and I want you to go back and listen to that. If you don't know what the wrecking ball effect is, what I call the wrecking ball effect, because it has a lot to do with this. A lot of times we associate growth with pain, and sometimes these chaotic things may happen in our lives and we perceive them as something bad, but in actuality they're coming to help move things in your life. They're coming to help shift things in your life, to help you elevate to a higher level. You can't go into a higher level without mastering the level that you're already on. Change is growth, guys. Sometimes growth is perceived as pain. If your perception of growth is pain, it will be a very painful experience for you, causing you to resist anything that's related to growth. If you don't want to have something bad happen to you, then you're blocking your chances of growing, because sometimes you have to have these hard things come in to teach you things to help you grow. So don't ever Live life with no regrets because everything happens for a purpose. In order to change something in your life, you must first change your state of mind. Changing your state of mind is done through changing your perception. We've talked about this before, changing the way that you look at the world, changing the way that you look at the experiences that you have. There's more than one way to perceive certain things. You can perceive something that may appear to be negative to somebody else or hurtful to somebody else as growth, and that can help you through that situation. Dr. Wayne Dyer, one of my favorites, one of his quotes said, "When you change the way you look at things, the things you look at begin to change." I feel that is so profound. It's just amazing that we change our circumstances by changing just our perception, by changing just the way we think about what happened, how we process it. We're looking for things to change in our lives, but we're continuing to look at these things that are happening to us in a negative point of view. We can't do that because when we do that, then that's how whatever it is that you're going to go through is going to appear in your life or show up in your life. Look at those hard things as moments of growth. To me, when I see challenges, I know that there is something great right on the other side of it. I know that this is something that I'm going through because I'm growing. I know that this is something that I'm going through because I'm shifting and I may be elevating to another level of awareness or another level of possibilities. Instead of being afraid of change, instead of looking at these things like, why does this always have to happen to me? Look at these things like, man, I'm so strong that these things are happening to me because I know how to take care of it. I know how to get stuff done. Sometimes you have to look at things in that way. Once you begin to look at your changes or your challenges as growth and that something better is about to happen, things will be a lot more tolerable for you. Things will be a whole lot easier for you. Ask yourself also, what am I to learn from this situation? What lessons can I learn? What should I hold on to in this situation and what should I let go of? It's your mind. You and only you have the right or the ability to change it. If you know that you can change it, if you know that you have this awesome power, use this to fuel your passion. Use this to shape the life that you want. Use this to get the things that you want. You don't have to be blocked. What you simply need to do is just look at some of these areas of your life where you see these blockages or challenges at and ask yourself questions about it. Analyze it. What experience in my life could possibly have made this a block for me? Once you figure out what it is, you do the mind magic on it. You go inside and you change it through reprogramming. If it was able to get there, then you can insert something else that's more positive and something that's going to allow you to have a powerful and lifting life, something that's what you want, something that you can value. Here's a quick overview of all of the things that I've discussed here today so that you can just kind of look at them in a different way. Maybe you didn't receive them the first time. Maybe you can receive them better this time. But first and foremost, the number one thing that we talked about was the fear of missing out. Just know that you are being that has access to unlimited potential. Even you yourself are unlimited potential. Sometimes we get stuck because we are in environments all the time that does not look like what we want to see. Sometimes we don't know that there's better. Just look around on the internet sometimes and you might find some things like, oh wow, I didn't know that people were doing that now. Sometimes you have to make sure that you know that where you are right now is not all that there is for you. You have unlimited access. You have unlimited potential. You can have any and everything imaginable to you. All you have to do is know that you can have it. When you're afraid that you can't have something, or you're afraid that you might lose something, you probably will lose it. You probably won't be able to have it because that fear sets in. There's one saying that I grew up hearing people say that I really do agree with it, and it talks about money. If you're overly frugal, or some people may just call it cheap, another way of saying that is tight. And people relate to the hand when they talk about money sometimes. So the saying is, sometimes you can hold your hand so tight that nothing can get in it, but nothing can get out of it. And it's talking about a person with a closed fist is considered to be tight or cheap. And you may not be able to lose anything, but you won't return anything as well. It's just like the story in the Bible when they talked about the talents, and one man, he hid his talents, even though when he dug them up, he had the same amount of talents that he put in the ground, but at the same time it was not able to grow any. So you have to remember that you cannot be too afraid of anything, because you have unlimited possibilities. Anything can happen to you, and that fear eventually will turn into an obsession if you allow it for long enough. The next blockage I talked about was competing and comparison. This is something that I want you to really understand. I want to get you, if you are, out of the habit of being in that competition or that comparison mindset. That's a mindset there that can be very detrimental to you. I want you to know that you are special. You are. You are so special to me. In fact, you're so special because nobody can do the things you do quite the way you do it. And I want you to appreciate that about yourself. And I want you to become aware of that so that it won't matter what other people do. Because you know that your journey is meant for you. You know that you are the best person to be on your personal journey. You are. There's no one that's better than you. And I want you to know that. And be careful how we compare ourselves with others. Because we look at this person now, we may feel like, wow, I should be in the place that they're in now. Look at them, they're way up here, I'm way down here. But what you don't stop to think about or realize is that there's two sides to every coin. You don't know the struggle that that person been through to get to where they are. So be careful what you wish for. Be careful what you aspire yourself or who you aspire yourself to be like. Don't compare. You can't compare to anybody else. You can't compete to anybody else. That's just how good you are. And I want you to realize that, because a lot of people get blocked in that very same way. That person may be looking at you, looking at some of the things you're doing and be thinking, wow, what can I do to get that? While you're on the other side looking at them, same situation. Use that comparison energy and that competition energy to help guide you to people that can help you get to where you need to be. If you weren't competing against that person, the two of you could come together and learn something from each other. So think about that competition and comparison. We also talked about resisting change. Change is growth. If you don't want to change, don't grow. If you're enjoying the life that you're living right now, you don't have to change. You can just continue to be the person that you are, and you'll notice a pattern of the same things continuing in your life. Sometimes change causes challenges. It's just like the video games. I remember my favorite one was Super Mario Brothers. Each board gets harder and harder. You're on the first board. I probably right now could play the whole first board with my eyes closed. But each time you went up to another level, each time you changed boards, it got a little more challenging and a little more challenging because things were different. Things are not like they were on the last board. You've mastered that board. Now you're in the process of mastering another board. And you just continue to do that until you beat the game. And for us, beating the game is living in that ideal state of mind, that ideal state of being, in that ideal life that we want to be in. If you want growth, you're going to have to change. Sometimes change comes with what seems to be challenges. But just know if you're having a difficult time in a particular area, that is the area that you're meant to grow in. I hope all of you got something out of this today. It really fed my soul. Thank all of you again for being here. If you need to contact me, you can click on the link that I'll leave in the description box. That'll be the web address. And I hope that you have a wonderful weekend. Until next time, guys, manifest on purpose.